The man everyone is singing his name right now, but from Southeast, in the person of Peter Obi, the Lord showed me a vision. There is something beyond face value that people are not saying. There is something fishy. I know I'm saying this to my own security. There's something fishy with the man from Labour Party. Let me speak in parables. And someone asked a question about the election that was about to take place in Nigeria. Prior to the month of March 2022, they were preparing, all the parties were preparing for their primary elections. And during the broadcast, someone asked the question, sir, who is going to be the next Nigeria president? Because right now the incumbent president is President Muhammad Buhari, all right? And when the person asked the question, as my custom is, certain times, most times I'm not permitted to talk about politics and some major events ongoing in the world, even though God has revealed a lot to me. I told them, who I saw winning the primary election in APC is Tinubu, not Osibanjo. Prior to this time, the church saw Osibanjo as God's choice, but the church did not employ wisdom. The best thing Osibanjo would have done was to decamp from APC and go to another party. Because Peter Obi was a sensitive man. Peter Obi decamped from PDP to Labour Party. Now, when Osibanjo lost his primary election to Tinubu, prophecy confirmed, Tinubu won the primary elections in APC. That was when the church took their attention to Peter Obi. Now, I want to say this. Humanly speaking, Peter Obi is from my geopolitical zone. He's from the same ethnic group that I belong to. I'm an Igbo guy. I'm an Igbo by tribe. I'm Igbo by tribe. Peter Obi is also an Igbo by tribe. So, humanly speaking, if I want to be sentimental, Peter Obi is a good choice for me. And aside the tribe, he has credibility. All right? He's efficient. All right? I'm not saying this because I have any affiliation with any party. Please, I'm saying this to give direction to the body of Christ. But I want to say this. The man everyone is singing his name right now, but from Southeast, in the person of Peter Obi, the Lord showed me a vision. There is something beyond face value that people are not saying. I'm not saying this man is not a good man, but you see, being a good man is different from what we become. There is something beyond face value that we are not seeing as regarding Peter Obi of Labour Party that is contesting that is running for the election, Nigeria's presidential election. The Lord told me there's something under the carpet that is hidden. And the Lord said to me, 1 month to the election proper, things are going to start coming out. There is something fishy. I know I'm saying this to my own security. There's something fishy with the man from Labour Party. Let me speak in parables.
This Apostle Austin Ikoro. He's a young man, as we can all see, and I would like to give it to him that he really did well in terms of expressing himself directly. He wasn't trying to, speak much in parables like we saw in the other clip where they were talking about somebody who wears glasses and whose name is T and T being the president, not being very specific but sounding very vague, something that could be it could be evasive at the end of the day, depending on the outcome of the result. But for this man, the good thing about him I would like us to acknowledge is that he spoke up and he was very direct, mentioning names and calling names, which is laudable, and like he said, at the detriment of his life and ministry, but he spoke up what he expressed himself the way he has done in a very direct manner. The key thing I have noticed, I don't know what you have noticed watching, the key things I have noticed is that he said there is something fishy about the person of Peter Obi that we may not have been seeing. It's most likely that according to him, we are taking things, or the church, or most Nigerian, majority of those clamoring for Peter Obi are looking at things from the face value. There is something hidden about him that we are not seeing. So now, I want us to follow this prophecy critically there is something fishing about Obi that we have not seen. We are only clamoring that he's our choice, is the person that God has anointed, but there is a but according to him. When he uses the word fishing, it shows that it's not something positive. That one is guaranteed. That one is taken. That one is not debatable. It's something not positive. It's something not positive. Let's continue what he was saying.
Something fishy with the man in Labour Party. God sees the heart. Men look at the outward appearance.
To corroborate what he said about God seeing the heart, man looking at the outward appearance. This is Prophet Isaiah Gabriel, who also said something similar to what Apostle Ikoro has said. Let's hear Prophet Isaiah Gabriel in line with what Apostle Ikoro just said.
All the presidential candidates are good people, but the thing is their hearts. It's only God that knows people with good hearts. And my prayer for all of them is that the right one should sit on his seat. Say amen, somebody.
This man has said that both of them are in the same boat when it comes to the hearts of the candidates. And in particular, in this case, now we are talking about Peter Obi, that there is something fishing about him. We are not seeing his heart, but God is the one seeing his heart. So let us continue.
Something fishy. I know I'm saying this to my own security. There's something fishy with the man from Labour Party. Let me speak in parables. There's something fishy with the man in Labour Party. God sees the heart. Men look at the outward appearance. I'm not saying this because I want to please anyone. If I want to please the masses, I will speak nicely as regarding the man in Labour Party. But the Lord is saying, the one the people are singing his name may not emerge as the leader. In fact, what God showed me right now, it is 90. The person that will win this election, the person that are singing his name, the chances of him winning is not up to 50%. The person people are saying, God forbid, the person has over 80% chances to win the election.
Now, this is my problem with my beloved brother here. Is the chances, are we talking about chances, or we are talking about what God said? God does not work by chance, based on what I understand. I wish Naked Truth was here. If he was here, it would have been a different issue. I would have directed this question at him. But let us rub minds together, my people. You are watching, you are also analyzing. Now the subject is switching now from what God wishes, the wish of God or the will of God. God has seen something, according to Apostle Austin Ikoro, about Peter Obi not being the right candidate, or something fishing about him. Although we have not seen it, and we are saying that is the person majority of us want. And at the same time now, he is saying that Obi may not emerge because of chance that he does not have. The one majority or the church people do not want is the one that will emerge because of he has a better chance. He has 80% chance of coming into power. So if he has the chance of coming into power, what does that got to do with God's will? Because sometimes the prophecies we do get, there's a kind of stuff that is not really clear. God does not require human effort or human wisdom to help him carry out what he wants to do. If God has a plan, if God's will must be done, it doesn't matter what is on ground, the reality is on ground. God is supreme to everything that he has made. He knows how to work out what he wishes so that his name will be glorified. What is the glory of God when everything is well and then everything is fine without any problem and things just keep moving smoothly? God will not take glory in that. God loves to take glory when all hopes are down, the chips are down, and they seem impossible. We do call him the God of all possibilities, a God that loves to deal with things that seem impossible. So if I think on the contrary, it is when the chips are down, as he is trying to say that Obi has a very low chance of winning, that God can step in to help him so that his name will be glorified. If a man who does not need God's help because of the chances, huge chance that he has, so how can we then say that God is the one who have done it? When in the first place he has the chance, he has the opportunity. I hope my people, we are following up this thing. So at the end of the day, what is the prophecy about? Is the prophecy based on human speculation and calculation? If that is it, then our prophets should come out and tell us that by their own analysis and speculation, this is what they predict, rather than turning their predictions into God's own word or into God's own wish or will. Because there are two things here. The first thing is said that something fishing about Obi, which shows that Obi is not God's will. There's something wrong about him that God has seen, and God is trying to prevent us, that we are all clamoring for him. Unknown to us, there's something hidden about him. Thank God we are about just few days to the elections, and I am yet to hear anything official. that is fishing about our lovely Peter Obi. So I beg us to, if maybe I'm the one not reasoning is the prophecy in the right way. So if you see his prophecy from another perspective, feel free, leave your comments in the comment section. Let us rub minds together and see. Because this series that we have now, Countdown to the Election, will be analyzing the prophecies from our prophets, those who have made predictions, because I think that's what is raining now. Everybody just want to come out and speak so that, at least they've heard my voice. I've also said something. So that's my own opinion. I might be wrong. I might be dead wrong. So let's continue with what?
In this coming election, it will take the sovereign help of God for the people's choice to emerge. The person I saw emerging is Bola Asiwaju Tinubu of APC.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is God's will. So why do we need to pray against his will? And Obi is, okay, let us say Tinubu is God's will, Obi is not God's will. Why then do we want to force God according to you? Because the prophecy is all about giving the church direction. That's how our apostle started with, that the prophecy is to give the church direction. So if Obi is not God's choice, why then should we as a church pray for God to bring his sovereign power to change what is on ground? If our prophet has begun the conversation by saying that Tinubu stand a better chance, not because there is something fishing about Obi, that is why we need to have a second thought about him. If Tinubu stood a better chance or stands a better chance to win, then we need to work harder for Obi so that Obi will eventually emerge. If that was how the prophecy began, then it would have been a different issue. The impression I am getting is that there's something wrong about Obi. Specifically, it was clear that there's something fishing about him that we are not seeing. And that does not speak of him in a good light. To be candid, it shows that we want to walk into error. So if the prophecy is about directing the church, then it shouldn't encourage us to further pray for him to sit in that. Please, come on. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
That's the person I'm seeing currently, except there is an interference. So if Nigerians want their popular choice to emerge, a lot need to go in.
The popular choice of the people that is contrary to God's choice emerge. Why should we encourage such a thing? That is what I think. I don't agree with this prophecy. With all due respect, this man did well by coming up, being bold to speak. But I wish our apostle can come up again to maybe re-clarify the prophecy. Is this a prophecy or a prediction based on human speculation and calculation? Because from all I'm hearing now, there is nothing strange. We all know what is on ground. We all know, mentally speaking, how capable Tinubu is, how prepared he is, how better equipped he is when it comes to resources and the so-called structure. We all know that. We don't need any spirit to tell us anything about that. What we need the spirit to tell us now is to say, okay, the person that seemed not to have structure, the person that seemed not to be better equipped is going to emerge. If that's what we hear, then we know the spirit is talking. Because if we say the person who we already know has all the whole resources is going to emerge, then that's nothing new. That's my own opinion. So this is what we are facing in this our time with prophecies. We're going to move this forward. Maybe we don't have much time to go through all of it. So let us see what
the electoral board. No matter how the Nigerians vote for a particular man, that man will not emerge. Because from the electoral board, the person that will be favored is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And right now, it will take the help of God for a shaking to happen for the INEC chairman to be changed. This is why I said earlier on, for us to take over the world, we need men in strategic quarters that will grow within the ranks. Osinbajo was the first tongue-speaking vice president that emerged in Nigeria. What would have happened was counsel to be given to him to decamp from APC. But wisdom was not employed.
Please leave your comment in the comment section. How easy would it have been for Osinbajo to have decamped from the position of a vice president? How easy, how realistic would that have been? Let's call a spade a spade. Which party would he have got into? Is it the same Labour Party that have no structure? Or is it PDP that Atiku is so desperate to clinch power by? So which how realistic is that for Osinbajo to have left APC? Please, I think we'll round the analysis here. The first analysis is something fishing about to be that God has seen, but we are not seeing. Just the same way, he talked about Tinubu and Osinbajo in the primaries. So, in summary, is this a prophecy, or it is just the normal speculation, mental calculation, and permutation? That is what I would have loved to hear from our apostle. So, but all said and done, apostle, you have done well. I admire you, I appreciate you, and I pray that the Lord give you more strength to continue in the work that he has put in your hands, and that you prosper. Thank you for your prophecy. Thank you for your word. And I pray the Lord be with you. So, my viewers, the Gertrude is not here. So, like I said, we have the floor to ourselves for now until he returns. So, meanwhile, have a blessed day.